Okay, because lately I've received some queries about marriage from women looking for a husband. I thought, you know what, let me just talk to everyone instead of, one by one by one. Um, and say that from the outset that I noticed a lot of women tend to think that men want what they want. So when a woman, for example, wants a man who is financially successful or capable of looking after her, you know, she thinks that if she markets herself in that way, that the man would want her. So sometimes when women come to me and they say, "Well, I have my own money and I won't need your money, and I just want to be, your wife," kind of thing, thinking, okay, that's now going to interest you. Now, let me say that most men, especially traditional men, couldn't care less that you have money. Okay, your money is not important. That's not how men think when they think of women. Okay, you will find a very wealthy, successful man marry a woman simply for her youth and her beauty, and she'll come with nothing. Okay, because he has money already. He doesn't need your money. Okay, it doesn't benefit him in any way for you to have money or to know you have. He couldn't care less. He has money. Okay, so a woman aim for these men who are financially very successful, and then they come and say, "Look, I do have my own money." That doesn't matter. Not for that type of man anyway. For a type of man that will marry you for your money or be interested in your money, it's likely going to be a man that a lot of women in any case won't be interested in, won't be that attracted to, because he's not very worldly or capable in a worldly sense. So then you saying that, oh, you know what, I have money and some guy's going to be very happy for that, it's because he's going to want you for your money, and then you're going to look at him as incapable after marrying him, that is, and then you're going to find yourself potentially losing attraction to him. Okay, so that's the one thing. The other thing is that I noticed women often give women very bad advice when it comes to relationships, because they don't understand men, and they ensure that the women around them are basically going to stay single. Okay, women are designed to be competitors. Okay, not friends. They don't give each other the kind of advice that's going to help them get married or stay married. They're going to give them the type of advice that's going to help them lose their husbands or not get married in the first place, because women are basically competing with each other for the same pool of men. And this is a diminishing pool of men, because not very many men are marriage material in the traditional sense. So 80% of women are competing for 20% of the men, and so they're not going to give each other good advice. And it's not a conscious perception or attitude they have. It's unconscious. Okay, as natural competitors, they're not going to give each other good advice. So don't take advice from, if you want advice about men, take advice from men. Okay, if you want relationship advice, take advice from sincere and honest men who are not interested in pursuing you. I think that's kind of why a lot of women tend to come to me for advice, because I have wives and I'm pretty contented, and I'm not usually in the business of chasing after women. I never do that. So I can give honest advice regarding a potential relationship or marriage without trying to undermine other men, because I'm not interested in that, right? Don't take advice from simps, okay? Men who are thirsty, men who don't have women themselves, men who are interested in pleasing women, because they will not give you honest advice. They're going to tell you what you want to hear, because they want you to remain available for them. So the male friends of a woman, the simp male friend, because if you have a male friend, he's likely 99% of the time a simp. He's going to tell you what you want to hear, okay? Your female friends are going to tell you, give you advice that will ensure that you stay single. And that's unfortunately the reality. Girls are not good with each other, okay? So, if you want to get married, prioritize marriage while you are young, in your youth, because what men value the most in a woman, any man, a standard normal man, the prototype man, values youth and beauty, and that's it. He doesn't care how smart you are, he doesn't care whether you have a career, he doesn't care about any of that. He just wants youth and beauty, and that is standard. And that is the time when you have the most leverage to secure what people say, and that's a term used too much, but what people call the high value man, okay? That is your time to shine. When women say to you, oh, you know what, you should put yourself first and your career and your life and get experience and so no man can take advantage of you one day, blah, 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 blah. What they don't tell you is that gradually with time, less men will come forward, less and less men will come forward and show any sort of serious interest in you. Now, another thing that women conflate with serious interest is casual interest. There will always be a stream of men that are casually interested in women, meaning in sleeping with them. But those men aren't going to marry you, okay? The serious men are going to come forward when you are young, and as you get older and older, less and less and less serious men who are seriously interested in marriage will come forward. And that's just the reality when you're a woman. That is, it's call it whatever you want to, but it is what it is. That is the reality, okay? The next thing that I think is important to note as a woman is that men lie. Okay, I'm a man, I'm sitting here as a man, and I'm going to tell you the truth is that men know that women, 90% of you are delusional, right? So they lie. They'll play into your fantasy. So a man who wants to get into your panties, you know, will lie. I mean, a lot of men, if they think that a woman is conservative and that she has morals that require marriage before she can have sex, for example, will promise to marry her, okay, in the hope that she'll break. So he can sleep with her and then he'll just never marry her because, you know, he got what he wanted, basically, because that's all he wanted. He didn't want an actual relationship. So men lie. So a lot of women, older women, that is, you know, they think to themselves, you know, my options are wide open because all these men are asking me to marry me. What some men mean simply by that is they want to sleep with you. That's it. They don't actually want a long-term relationship. Some men also get married for a few months at a time and get divorced. Okay, so it doesn't mean that. So women have an overinflated sense of market value, okay, when it comes to the marriage market, because of the access, the amount of access they have to men and that men have to them. They think to themselves that they are more valuable in terms of SMV, sexual market value, than they really are. And so that is why they likely will never get married, because they keep turning men down, thinking there's a better man and a better man and a better man, and there is never a better man, okay? And so the psychology of a woman, you know, is illustrated in the story where these women were told that, look, they're going to go to the store where they can choose a husband. And on the first floor, when they entered the store, there were all these relatively attractive men, you know, with low jobs, but But they were told in the store, all these men are qualified for marriage, right? And then they were said there were more men on the second floor. So the woman said, okay, wow, this is interesting. These are, reasonably attractive men with, the average level job income. But let's see what's on the second floor, right? And the only rule was you can't turn back. So once you go to the second floor, you can't go back to the first floor. And yet everyone passed. Nobody thought, okay, let me take a man from this floor because these are good men. No, they all went to the second floor. On the second floor, there were men that were reasonably attractive but had higher level jobs, higher income jobs. So they're like, oh wow, this is even better than the first floor. Let me go to the third floor, right? When they got to the third floor, there were men who were very attractive with high paying jobs. And they were told, well, there's also a fourth floor. So all the women were like, wow, if this must be what's on the third floor, imagine what will be on the fourth floor. So they skipped over all the men on the third floor, and when they went to the fourth floor, right, there was nothing. There was nothing on the fourth floor. And all that it said on the fourth floor was that, well, you missed the bus. And the moral of the story is that's how a lot of women live their lives, especially in this world where there's so many men and so easy access. They think that, wait, let me hold out for the better one, the better one, the better one. But what's also happening is that their SMV, sexual market value of that woman who is holding out, is decreasing with time. And then eventually no one would be interested in marrying her, because the truth is a man at 35 or 40 who has built himself up, established himself in his career, and done well for himself, and is single, can easily find a wife who is 20 years old, 20 years younger than him. Okay, it happens all the time. We see it everywhere. Okay, this is regardless of how he lived his life. That's just the reality of the world. He is a sought after man at that point. Okay, even the guys who are 20 years old, 20 years his junior, they cannot compete with him despite their youth and everything. Okay, because they have not, the woman, the young woman will choose the older man who's more experienced and who is more capable, because she wants to be able to start a family, have children. She wants a man who can look after her. The older man can do that. The younger man is still on his way there. Okay, the 40-year-old woman does not have anything to offer this man if he's going to get married for the first time, right? If he doesn't already have children, or he doesn't already have a wife, he doesn't already have the family he built up. Starting a family at 40 for the first time for this man, having worked hard to be able to afford that, would require that he started with a much younger woman. That's a fact. So the 40-year-old woman is not equal to the 40-year-old man in age, in reality, when you consider where they are in their lives and what they would expect and what they would want if they were both single. And that is the reality, ladies. Okay, so if you're a young woman listening to this, you're 18, 19, 20, you should be seriously considering getting married soon, because this is the best time for you to be married. If you're an older woman in your 30s or 40s and you are single, you need to understand that you don't have on offer what a 20-year-old woman has on offer. And a man in his 30s or even 40s who is highly successful and capable can easily marry a woman much younger than him. So if you are going to find a man at that age who's going to marry you, You need to be a yes sir woman, okay? You need to give that man no trouble, because the fact is, a man would be prepared to marry an older woman if the older woman is going to be less hassle than the younger woman. But what older women do often is that they more hassle, they more of a hassle than the younger woman, because they don't understand their true SMV. They don't understand it. They don't realize that their beauty and their charm and that does not work for them so well anymore like it would have 20 years earlier. Okay? And that they now need to be they now need to bring to the relationship that stability, that maturity, that contentment, that satisfaction, that not having the need to look around, not having the need to party, not having the need to go out all the time. They need to bring that contentment to the relationship as a mature older woman. That would make it worth the man's while, the older man, to marry you. Otherwise, he could marry a much younger woman, put up with some young drama because it will be worth it. She's going to bear him his children, she's younger, he can understand that in her. So if a man is going to marry an older woman, and you an older woman, understand that you need to be a yes sir woman, okay? You need to listen to him, you need to not give him trouble, you need to not give him headaches, and you just need to be grateful that someone married you to begin with. I'm sorry, that's just how it is, okay? Likely you are not he's not your first husband, so he didn't get you as a virgin, okay? Men want to marry virgins when they do marry. So he didn't marry you as a virgin, okay, minus points already. That's just a fact, okay? He's now having to contend with sharing your emotions and your emotional attachments to other men. Okay, so already that he has to do. And then he still has to deal with your drama and your chaos and your wanting to give him the young woman mentality when you are not young anymore. Okay, you want to basically turn his life upside down when you don't really have that much on offer. I'm sorry to say that. It's a harsh reality, but it's the truth. Okay? So ladies, if you want to get married, know and understand what your SMV is, your sexual market value. When you are an older woman, you can get married, you can find a good man, but you need to understand that there will be expectations of you. You cannot act like an 18-year-old or like a 16-year-old schoolgirl, okay, at 40 and 50 years old. You just cannot, because you're not that age anymore, and you don't bring that value to the relationship. So you cannot be that. And then also the other thing is, as an older woman, is that you are likely to marry a man, especially in polygynous cultures, who is already married, which means you cannot give this man headaches and drama because he has other wives too. If every wife should be a headache and give him drama, this man won't survive. Okay? If you really love the man and you want to be with a man, you will try to make life as easy for him as possible so that he understands the worth you bring to his life. Okay? But if you're going to give him drama and headaches and make his life hell on earth, why should he be with you? And that is the advice I can give. And then lastly, the last thing I want to say is, don't come with this attitude that the man is beneath you because you have standards. Okay? If the man is beneath you because you have standards and he can't keep up with your lifestyle and what you used to and your expectations, then don't be with that man. Go choose a wealthy man who can afford your quote unquote standards. Okay, don't now choose a man. You wanna live like a rich person, but you choose a man with from the middle class, and then constantly demean him for not being able to afford your standards because you have standards. Okay, there's nothing a man likes more than a woman who's contented with what he can give her. A man would much rather marry a poor woman from a village who doesn't understand about standards than a well-to-do woman that's going to try to make him feel inferior consistently because she has standards. And that's just a fact, okay? So if you want a man, ask yourself, what do men want? Okay? Ask yourself, how do men think? Okay? Talk to men. Not men, simpy men, friends who are going to tell you what you want to hear because they want to get under your panties. Not those men. Talk to real men. Have honest conversations with real men, with your father, with your brother, with men who you know will have your best interest at heart, that want to see you married, that want to see you happy, and they will tell you the truth. Okay? Thank you very much.